consensus is that Justin's rhythm and timing last week was as good as it's been since he took over. I'm curious if you have kind of put your finger on why he's kind of gotten into that place for himself right now.
Well, I'll look at it more specifically. I thought there were a lot of really good examples of it. I'm not going to make a big, broad statement about zone that he's in or anything. I just think there were a lot of plays in the game where he did it just right, whether the first read was open, he threw it on time, or whether he had to go from 1 to 2 or whatever. And he looked like he put video on that you could show to someone, hey, this is how this play's supposed to be run.
Does it feel like it carries forward from your vantage point?
Well, we've seen it in practice quite a bit. So, you know, it's one of those things that kind of goes in and out with every quarterback. Sometimes it works out that the play calls, the ball was able to come out, and sometimes, you know, and that's how you call the play, always hoping that the first read is open, right? That's part of what you try to do, because everyone knows the purpose of the play. And some of those days it's tough because things change. They can call whatever they want in their huddle too. So it was just one of those days where it was clicking for them, and the hope is that it does carry forward and that you keep going, that we have more good examples than tough exampers.
I realize that the results every Sunday aren't always linear for rookie quarterbacks. Sometimes it's up and down. But does it feel like it was good for him to have a game like that, given maybe the month leading up to it? You know, to have what felt maybe like a breakthrough a little bit.
Well, I thought dealing specifically, there was a lot of good performance from him. If I agreed with you that there was a breakthrough, then you could look and say, well, you didn't really score enough points to win the game. So it's kind of hard to get too excited about on points we scored.
Previously, you could look at it and say you're dealing with a small sample size, but you're 8 games in now, and Allen Robinson's targets and his production are significantly down, not just from last year, but kind of what he's done here on an annual basis. Has that become a point of emphasis for the staff?
Oh, I think every day we talk about it as far as we game plan the red zone for tomorrow, as we game plan third down this morning. You know, what are the best things for him to be on? How do we get him the ball? I mean, the reality is the way we're playing football right now, there are a lot of unhappy offensive pass catchers. They're being professional and they're trying to help us win. But that's when you're running the ball so much, your pass catch, no one's going to be happy, and that is the case.
Has he expressed frustration?
Oh no. They're very, very professional group. I just know. I mean, it's not the first time. Just when you run the ball this much, certain people are happy about it, but we're not happy when you don't score points. And usually in this league, passing production leads to more points. And so I think until we get the passing game to produce better, we're going to have a hard time.
You guys have been in rhythm in that run game. Is there any concern if David comes back that the good thing you had going there might be sidetracked at all, or at least
no concern? No. You always want good players to be ready to play. So we're excited to have David out there at practice, and to my eye, it looked like it went pretty well yesterday. So I'm really hopeful.
How did you feel about what Larry Borom did after being out for 5 weeks? Couldn't practices 3 days. You guys throw him out there. When you went through the film, what was the evaluation of Larry?
I was very happy with just the scenario you brought up. I mean, to be out that long, and then to have 3, and he had good days of practice. Maybe not. He was a little. There's a certain procedure for getting them back as far as the number of reps in practice, and Coach Castillo coached the heck out of him, like every single play, as you can imagine. And for him to, and then, of course, the 49ers switched and put Bosa over on his side to go against him, which, makes sense. I mean, there was zero hesitation from him. There was zero fear from him. When we called quick protections, he went and was aggressive and got his hands on him. I thought for the scenario that he went through of missing so much time, having played so little NFL football, to be up against such a good player and to play the way he did was very good. And, you know, you just have to expect it's only going to get better as he goes. So, yeah, that was a bright spot.
Even immediately after the game, he seemed like he had a steadiness about what he had been through in the, those 5-6 days leading up to it. What have you learned about just kind of his deportment and his wiring that allowed him to succeed in a week that was not really set up for success necessarily?
You're talking about Larry still? Yeah. The guy played college football. Not only did he play it at a high level, but he really didn't get beat a lot. Like when you think about it, and he in college he went against a lot of good pass rushers. Now, it's college and the NFL is different, blocking the passer, but I think he blocked a lot of guys who ended up in the NFL, and it was a very productive player. And so I think he just revealed to us kind of what his makeup is, what his composure is. Again, you hate to make too many broad statements over that first one, but all signs are pointing in the right direction, so everyone was happy.
It doesn't get any easier with T.J. Watt coming up.
Well, yeah.
What makes him?
I think Larry just assumes now they're going to flip their sides too. I don't know. No. Well, I mean, when is the easy week, right? I think when you look at the defenses we faced this year and the teams we faced this year, when's the easy week? I don't know.
Next week's the easy week.
I'll keep my plans private. I don't want anybody finding me.
Following up for a minute on Allen, you said a few minutes ago, ideally when you call the play, you hope the primary receiver is open. I assume they are a fair amount of the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
So still, when you look at the imbalance in targets between Darnell and Allen, strategically, have you guys chosen to use Allen differently this year? Could that have something to do with it?
Well, I think overall our receiving core is different, so I think there's differences in that way. In some of the games, our use of tight ends went up, so that dictates it a little bit. So I just think we probably don't look at it as big picture as the question you're asking. We probably look, especially when you're not making enough first downs, when you're not throwing the ball. I mean, right now, when you look at where we throw the ball, right? I mean, how many balls did we complete between the numbers last game, especially over 10 yards? I mean, we're just there's certain things we're not doing well, and so I would almost feel like to look at the big picture. We've got so many specific little scope, the small scope of how do we just get more production in the passing game to look at. So I just don't spend a lot of time worrying about how many targets and catches is a guy going to end the year with. I'm trying to score enough points to beat the next team. And like I said, to me, until the passing game changes, it's going to be hard to be different.
So is it fair to say that, as you said, so many things that you're not doing well, that some of it is directed to the development of the young quarterback?
I don't want to make an excuse, so I guess I would just put it on how have we chosen to play these games.
Bill.
I don't know if that, I just want to give the right soundbite. Sorry, it's truth.
Bill, to go back to the run game a little bit, I know you got David coming back, but what have you come to appreciate about Khalil's ability to be the guy,
Yeah.
Your run game going, with him being a rookie especially?
I guess you don't know till he's out there. I mean, really, never seen any wide eyes or any hesitation from the bright lights. I mean, the guy just goes. He's very decisive as a runner. He's been able to play with power at times. He's been able to break some tackles. I can picture one that he bounced to the left off of a draw last week, and we weren't able to get up to the safety. He broke that tackle, then the corner's tackle. He's done a nice job accelerating through the hole, and I think part of that is being decisive, and part of it is his physical ability to accelerate. There haven't been very many, I don't think, where you look back with him and he'd say, yeah, I wish I broke it this way different or that. He's getting what the line blocks, and then he's trying to add to it. I mean, that's kind of what the line would probably tell you that he's putting the ball where they have blocked it to be put. And I think that's Doesn't sound real fancy, but that's a pretty good compliment for a young back.
Justin has a game running that he had on Sunday. How might that affect the way teams start scouting you? And I imagine that's a good thing.
Yeah, you can tell me what Coach Tomlin says. I think we just have to keep finding that balance of how much you want your NFL quarterback to get hit, because it's rare that they don't get hit at some point in the passing game during a game. And so then when you choose to give him some run options, you take that chance. And so we just have to balance that. And then some of it is dictated by the defense. When we hand the ball off and he comes out the other way, or if we fake handing it off and bring him out, they can choose whether they want their defensive end or outside linebacker to be up the field at him or chasing the run to make the tackle. That's their choice. We can't control that. But if they're choosing to chase the run, then that's going to give us more opportunity to get him out in the open. And so some of that is reacting to how they choose to defend us. And they chose to chase last week more than some of the previous couple teams did. I get maybe they didn't think he could run, or maybe they'd rather have him run than Khalil. But that's what they chose to do, and so he took advantage of it.
As a developing quarterback in an evolving offense, how do you go about communicating to the group at large that there are positive signs of growth being made, while also emphasizing what you said a number of times? We scored 2 touchdowns, we got the 22 points, the bar needs to be higher.
Well, that's the art of being the NFL coach after a loss. It's like every loss, even if you win 4 in a row, then you lose, okay. How much of the positive, how much do you point out the negative in a professional way? Part of it, I think, is, or maybe the big part of it is over time, and meaning like over the entire year, every meeting that you have, all the time you spend around them, as a coach, building trust with them, so that when you stand up in front of the room or stand up in front of a group and you point out, hey, this wasn't good enough, that you have a relationship with the players that they know. We expect the coach to say this when it's true and that we need to be better, and we're not going to take it personal and we're not going to get defensive. We're going to evaluate it. We don't have to always agree with them. We can have an adult conversation about it, but if you've built that level of trust between the coach and the players, then you can stand up there and tell them the truth in a professional way, and then expect, yeah, we're all in this together, so let's get this fixed. So that's what you try to do. Again, it takes all year to do it. It doesn't happen because you walked in this week and you decided to do it. You have to build. It's just like with any relationship with people. You have to build that relationship, and so that's what we're trying to do, and we're trying to fix it together.